Well, it's Monday, November 20th, 2006. Michael James Edding here. I just got back from a convention this weekend. As you know, I go to science fiction conventions about 4 or 5 times a year. And I had a pretty good time at PhilCon. Next convention I'm going to is in February. That'll be Farpoint. It was an interesting convention, but I find I have a hard time having fun at this time of the year because Thanksgiving is Thursday, and it's getting right into the holiday seasons. One exciting thing that happened at PhilCon, my buddy Stitch wound up with a girlfriend. Who'd have thunk it? I go to these conventions and I bring Stitch with me. It's somewhat comforting to hold a stuffed animal. It's almost like when you snuggle up with your pillow at night if you live alone. Maybe you do that. I have no idea. This is slightly embarrassing, but human beings have a need to hug people. It's kind of why when you wrap your arms around your significant other, it feels so good. So I usually carry Stitch around the convention with me from time to time. Anyhow, I put Stitch back in the room and left him there the one morning because I was concerned about him getting something spilled on him when I went to the one convention hospitality suite known as a con suite, and there's usually a lot of careless people with food and drink, and I figured he'd be safer in the room by himself. Left him in the room, went to the con suite, went down to the dealer's room. I'm walking around the dealer's room. Here's this really hot, I mean hot woman who, as I'm walking past her table, recognizes me from a different convention and says, "Hey, aren't you the one who goes to Balticon?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I am." And I'm thinking, wow, girl remembers me. It's like, so she says, a big smile on her face, "Where's Stitch?" And it's one of these concerned questions, like if somebody was always seen with a real dog and all of a sudden you didn't have your collie as you were jogging down the street. Someone said, "Hey, where's Fido? You always..." So she's like, smile on her face, but where's Stitch, with this concerned look. I'm like, oh, he's back in the room. I didn't know what else to say. It was Saturday. So she got a little bit happy at that. She's like, "But he is here." I'm like, "Yes, he's here." So I said, bye, and walked away. Next day, Sunday, today, I'm leaving the convention. I have checked my bags out of the room. Decide, hey, I'm going to stop in the dealer's room. Stop in the dealer's room. Same woman, staying there. As I'm walking past, I get to her table, and I got my bag, and she's like, "Is Stitch in the book bag?" And I'm like, "Yes." And I pull Stitch out of the book bag, and I hand Stitch to the woman, who gives him this like really, really big hug, like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you. You're my best friend who I haven't seen in 100 million years." And I'm thinking, wow. I'm not jealous of an inanimate object. But it is slightly demoralizing to a person when somebody cares more about your objects or your possessions than they do you. Or it's like they miss a stuffed animal, but I guess I should just be happy that the girl even, remembered me somewhat at all, even if it's just as the owner of a stuffed animal. I'm beginning to think that I could probably do a show with Stitch and Purple Monkey and 2B, my 3 little YouTube mascots, and just have them be the entire show all by themselves without me or any dialogue whatsoever, and people would watch. They would watch these 3 little characters just sitting in this chair all by themselves without me narrating at all, and it would probably be my highest viewed video. Again, I'm not. I'm a little out of sorts. November is a bad month for me. It's full of a lot of badness. 7 years ago, 1999, the Saturday morning after Thanksgiving, that Thanksgiving weekend, I had to rush my mother to the hospital, where she slowly died of cancer over a 2-week period. So I got that wonderful Thanksgiving memory. 4 years ago, on Thanksgiving Day 2002, this girl who was the love of my life, who I thought I was going to marry and live happily ever after with, dumped me at the door holding my dessert plate, basically. No warning. I was expecting the family Thanksgiving dinner that I hadn't had in years, and I'm still not over it. There's a lot of breakup poems in my book of poetry. As I tried to work it out, it poisoned some of my poems. I think I'm going to read a poem. This is about coping with getting dumped from somebody who stabbed me. At the time, there was this guy who was a musician named Jim Steiger who had a song, and I had listened to this one song and it just moved me, and I was basically in tears and wrote this on the way home. It was called Thanks for the Daiquiri. Thanks for the daiquiri. I hit the repeat button on track 6 and cried. I didn't know the story behind the song, but it is a reflection of mine, a dark mirror into my soul. Adam with no Eve. I had my future vanish into nothing when my woman left. She took my dreams with her, replacing them with the emptiness that is my life, a future without hope. I was certain we would last forever, but she changed it all to fit her selfish needs. She was a blue-eyed devil with a heart of stone, preacher that didn't practice. I am the rubble of a once proud man, crushed beneath her spike heel. That devil, demon, whore tried to steal my soul. She had left a void within me, but the daiquiri I didn't drink filled the space. Thanks for the daiquiri. Reference song used there is Jim Steiger's Four Daiquiris Down. I still not over it. I did have a date about a week ago, and it was like the first date in 4 years, but it was one of those ones where the girl turns around and says, "This wasn't supposed to be a date, was it?" And every bad thing that could possibly happen happened, including another woman that I know kissing me in front of this other girl, getting lipstick on my collar. Bizarre. Totally bizarre. That's all I have to say. So, I have the loneliness of the holidays to deal with, and it's kind of eating me up right now. And like I said, Thanksgiving is a constant reminder of the loss of my past, my mother dying, and the loss of my future, my woman leaving, and every year this former co-worker invites me to spend Thanksgiving with them, and I'm too polite to say no. And I want to be alone, but I don't want to be alone. But I also don't want to be the odd man out at a family gathering. So I have the present reminder that there's no place for me, and I'd like to get through the holidays feeling happy. I'd like for this veil of sadness to be lifted from the memory of my mind, and I'd like to write happy poems. As I said, this melancholy mood has permeated my poetry for such a long time. It's tainted the old book a little bit. It's contaminated the new book a little bit, and I don't want it in the third book of poetry, should there ever be a third book of poetry. I want it to be nothing like but poems, happy, fuzzy, bunny poems, no matter how many people I have to kill to make it happen. I'm tired. Happy Thanksgiving. Early. Hope you and you all enjoy your time with your friends and family, and I'll get back to you next week with another episode of Rant Said Poetry.